England, and particularly what it's like to study law in Portsmouth at university. And I've done some slides, and I've given you copies of the slides because I thought you could take them away for any projects that you're doing or just to help you with note taking. But I will sort of talk around them. And I've given you various other materials, and I'll explain those as we go through. And what I thought is I would talk for maybe 20 minutes, something like that, perhaps a little bit more, is that all right, Susan? And then we'll nip over to the courtroom and have a look at some of the classrooms that the students learn in and the courtroom that we built for them to practice all of their courtroom activities in. Okay, so that's the programme really. So this is a slide from, we have open days, which you may be used to, where students come in and have a look at Portsmouth and meet the tutors and meet the students. Come through and have a good look, and then.
It's okay. Do you want me to put on the wing down?
Well, yeah, why don't you model it? Why not? We can have a show. Bernard's going to give us a chat about. Right, you come right through, and then there'll be more room for everybody else. Okay, so come. You can go around that way if you want to. If you want to make space for yourself.
Do you want to play Don? Because I don't know what.
Come in, everybody who's not here. Squeeze right through. Go in. So.
Everybody take a seat. Say, come on, that's it. Take a seat, sit down. That's good. Okay. Now stay where you are if you're working. Stay where you are. Just for a few minutes. That's it, take seats.
So Bernard is actually a barrister, so while I've given you all the teaching methods information, Bernard can actually talk to you about the wigging down. Is that all right? Okay.
Right. Can you all understand me?
Yes.
Excellent. Now, this is a courtroom. Have any of you been in courtrooms before? You have? Some have not. I hope you haven't been defendants in courtrooms. Oh dear, we don't want that sort of thing, do we? Okay, now this looks like a courtroom as you would see it in any court in England and Wales, particularly what we call a Crown Court, which is where the more serious offences are tried. Now the most important things are, firstly, this is where the judge sits, up here, right? And in our court there's usually one judge, but in the Court of Appeal there might be 3 judges, so we have 3 seats. And also in magistrates' courts there might be 3 magistrates, so 3 seats. But the most important thing is, you see that there, they're all coat of arms? Every court in this country has the royal coat of arms. And that one comes from the Magistrates' Court in Eastleigh, and it was restored by the university and sits there to make it look realistic. The royal coat of arms sits always above the judge, because of course the Queen is the head of state here, and the judge administers justice on behalf of the Queen. Now, who else do we have in the courtroom? Well, in a Crown Court we have the jury. The jury, hello. 12 of them. Now the qualifications to sit on the jury is that you must be over the age of 18. Are you all over the age of 18? Yes. Now you'd have to be resident in the UK for 5 years, which of course you cannot. But there's one other very important qualification. You must not be mad. Are you not mad? Right, you have to be sane. If you're insane, you can't be a member of the jury. Right. Now, the clerk of the court sits here, and they administer the court. Here, but normally facing that way, is you get the barristers. And they wear the wig and gown, which we'll talk about in a minute. Here, you get the solicitors. Oh dear. The solicitors. They have to do all the work. Work. Oh dear. Here, you get the public. And there, you get the dock, which is where the accused person goes. Oh dear. Oh dear. Now this is all very realistic, except that normally we'd have bars and bulletproof glass around the dock. But we'll trust you not to attack us, madam. And here we have the witness box. The witness box where you stand and give your evidence, you ask questions by the barrister. Now we use this room to train people. We can train lawyers, we can train witnesses, we can even do jury research. We can even train judges. You see that, and that, they're cameras. And they can be pointed anywhere in the courtroom. Smile. And obviously you can video people performing, you can play back the performance, and you can criticise your own performance and hopefully improve. So that's what we do. There's only one person that we don't train here. Do you know who that is? The defendant. We don't want to train crooks, do we? No, not at all. Okay, so that's the courtroom. Now you asked me about the wigs and the gowns. Now the modern English advocacy dates really from the 18th century. The 18th century, the 1700s. And that's when we see the growth of advocacy in the United Kingdom in what's become its present form. Now in the 18th century, men wore wigs. They wore wigs. Very simple. They wore wigs. And this is what every fashionable young man would wear. It's true. Everybody would wear a wig if you were fashionable. It's as fashionable as jeans and trainers now. Think about it. But remember, it was over 200 years ago and fashions do change. Would any of you ladies wear last year's fashions? No.
My husband would like me to.
So court dress became formalised and we always wear wigs. And we continue to wear wigs to this day. The way you put it on is like this. You put it like this, and on it goes, like that. And that's it. That's it. A wig. Do you know what it's made out of? Horsehair. Horsehair. The tails of horses. That's the wig. Now the other thing that they wear is the gown. Now the gown dates from actually medieval times. And it was really an old cloak. And you wear it like this. It's very simple. Put it on. There we are. That's a gown. Okay, the wig and the gown, which is a distinctive uniform of barristers throughout the ages. So I put my wig on, my gown, and now I'm dressed for court, except that I'm not. Why am I not dressed for court? Because I need to wear a suit, I need to wear a wing collar, you know, a wing collar, an old-fashioned wing collar, and we have what are called bands, which is a piece of, two pieces of cloth, which stretch down like that from your neck, like a Church of England clergyman. And then you are dressed for court. And if you don't dress appropriately, the judge will say that he cannot see you. He can see you. He says, I cannot see you, Mr. Davis. Why? Because I'm not dressed appropriately. And the idea of appropriate court dress isn't to do with privilege or class or anything like that. It's to do with a little bit of tradition, but also if you wear court dress, it makes everybody realise that we're actually here for a formal reason. And of course, if this was a real court, we've got a dangerous criminal in the dock. Madam, are you a dangerous criminal? Yeah. We have a dangerous criminal. And of course, it might be that they are guilty, in which case they might be going to prison for a long time. A very long time, madam. So we wear court dress so that everybody knows that it's a formal occasion, that it's serious, it's not funny. Are any of you laughing? Not funny. And it also helps identify us by function. So if I'm dressed like this, I can only be a barrister. Now, there have been periodic reforms to court dress, and wigs and gowns now tend to be worn mainly in criminal trials, the more serious criminal trials in the Crown Court. And do you know who are the people who really, really want to keep barristers in wigs and gowns? Do you know who wants to do that most of all? I'll tell you. It's professional criminals. Why? It's because normal people, when they're cross-examined by someone wearing a wig and gown, get intimidated. And normal people are normally the witnesses for the prosecution. So if a defence barrister can intimidate them, it weakens the prosecution case, doesn't it? So that's one reason why criminals like barristers to wear wig and gown. The other reason is slightly more prosaic, I suppose, and that is the criminals are inconvenienced, aren't they, by attending court? It's inconvenient sitting in the dock, isn't it, madam? Of course it is. So they say, well, why can't the lawyers be? And as I say, we use this really for training lawyers and professional witnesses, such as sewing officers, people like that, even police officers, so they get used to doing their work in a very realistic environment. And that really is one of the big advantages of this courtroom. It's one of the things that makes Portsmouth University unique. It is very good. Very few, well, in fact, no university has facilities as good as this. Now, I trained as a barrister quite a few years ago. Not that many years ago, because as you can see, I'm quite young still. Are you all laughing? But when I trained as a barrister, as a professional barrister, I did not have facilities anything like as good as this. And I know that the Crown Prosecution Service and all of the other prosecuting agencies love facilities like this. Why? Because they are so good, they are so versatile, and most importantly, they are so realistic. That's all I've got to say about it.
Thank you guys so much.